About 1 in 6 American adults will experience depression in their lifetime. But have you ever wondered, what is depression anyway? Isn't sad just sad? I wanted to find out more, so I got a lot of great information from my friends at the Cleveland Clinic. Today, I'm going to talk through it with YouTuber and comedian Christina Wolfgram, and she's telling me what life's been like since her diagnosis of major depressive disorder. I'm Torri, and this is the TMI Show. So what is depression? Basically, it's a medical condition that affects your emotions, mind, and body. Depressive symptoms include feeling sad, anxious, or hopeless, changes in eating and sleeping, difficulty remembering things, and even trouble thinking and concentrating. What causes depression? Well, it can actually be any number of things. Abnormalities in brain chemical levels, family history, and stressful life events can all be factors in causing depression. So can certain medical conditions and medications. Major depressive disorder, also known as major depression or clinical depression, is when intense, overwhelming symptoms interfere with everyday life for more than 2 weeks. Everyone feels down from time to time, but that 2-week marker is really when you should talk to your doctor. To diagnose, they'll likely give you a questionnaire and ask about family history, and perhaps perform an exam to rule out other causes. There are several types of depression. One is seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. How appropriate is that acronym? SAD is related to the change in seasons, usually starting in late fall and easing in the spring. There's also perinatal depression, or postpartum depression, which can actually start during pregnancy and continue up to 1 year after having a baby. And this isn't just the baby blues, people. Then there's also persistent depressive disorder, or PDD, is also known as dysthymia. Symptoms of PDD are less severe than major depression, but people experience PDD symptoms for 2 years or longer. The 2 most common treatments for clinical depression are psychotherapy and medications. So as we can see, depression can be a lot more than just sad. To get a little more of a personal perspective though, let's talk to Christina about her diagnosis. Hi Christina, thanks for talking with me today.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, first, I just have to ask, how long have you lived with depression?
I was diagnosed a little over 3 years ago, but my diagnosis explained a lot of feelings that I had been having even when I was a little kid, struggling to go to school and to manage my emotions.
When you were young, how did you first recognize it?
As a child, I just assumed everyone felt this way. Like everyone was very overwhelmed. This is my cat. And I think my parents noticed it first because I would come to them and what I would call the overwhelm was I would say, Mom, Dad, I'm feeling nervous.
Now, after asking for help, what is your diagnosis and what was that process like? Did it take a long time to come to that conclusion?
It did. I didn't get diagnosed until I was 28. It was after years of talking to therapists. I was actually at an OBGYN appointment and I was, filling out the questionnaire. There was a question that was something like, how often are you crying or something? And I was like, I'm pretty normal. I cry like a couple times a day. And the doctor was like, so I see you're crying a couple times a day. I see that you're in therapy. Have you ever taken any tests or evaluations for depression? Yeah, then I started that journey and it actually then took me another full year to really accept that it was a medical condition and that I could take medication for it. And that was a really big step for me.
Now that's a big step for so many people. How was your life different before and after diagnosis?
Getting diagnosed with like official depression took a weight off of me because I thought that the bad feelings that I felt were something that I brought upon myself. And after the diagnosis, it was like someone telling me I had the flu and I was like, oh, no wonder I've been barfing. Like, oh, okay. Oh, I feel so bad for my younger self. I just want to like hug her and say, it's okay. Like, you're going to find Lexapro. It's going to work so great for you.
Okay, so now that you're on the other side of diagnosis, how do you manage your depression?
One of the biggest things that's helped me manage my depression is working on accepting the fact that there's no end point. Then I make sure I take my medicine every day at the same time. That's very big for me. I also have continued therapy. And then the last thing is definitely like movement. I got to keep that energy moving. So I'll go on at least a walk every day. That really helps.
Are there any habits or triggers that can make your depression worse?
Yes, absolutely. I've found that being in a high stress situation, I can actually find enjoyment in kind of the energy of that. And then after, when it's finished and my energy doesn't need to be there anymore, I can either find a baseline of like, okay, I'm normal, or I will spiral down into a depression. And I really have to watch out for that. And then some of the triggers are definitely from the inside. I really have to watch my negative self-talk.
So what would you say to someone who thinks they might be depressed?
That it's really hard, but you should talk to a professional about it. And sometimes the hardest part is actually making the appointment. It can be really valuable to ask a friend or family to make the appointment for you. And then your only job is to show up. And then I also just want to say that you're definitely not alone, and you don't deserve to feel bad. In fact, you deserve to feel great, and you deserve to feel a full range of emotions. And every step that you take searching for that is worth your time. So good job.
Depression can be serious, but it's also treatable. Exercise, good sleep, and self-care can improve depression symptoms. So can talking to a professional. Sometimes brief therapy is all you need. Other people continue therapy longer. Antidepressant medications work well for many people with depression, and if you have mild depression or ongoing symptoms, you can improve your well-being with complementary alternative therapies like massage and acupuncture. As always, talk to your doctor if you think you need help. Do you have any medical questions? Just drop them in the comments and like and subscribe so you can catch every episode of the TMI Show. Thanks for watching. See you next time.